Liam Ross lived alone in a small apartment in Neo-Tokyo City. He was quiet, a tech lover, and didn't talk to many people. His life was boring: work, food, sleep, repeat. The only time he felt excited was when he searched online for strange gadgets. One rainy night, Liam was sitting on his couch with a cup of cold coffee. He opened a shopping site called Galactic Goods, a place for rare tech items. Most things were fake or too expensive, but one ad grabbed his eyes. It said, "Smart Pet AI Companion, feels real, thinks smart, learns fast, only one left." The picture showed a silver egg with glowing blue lines. The price was high, but Liam had savings and no one to spend them on. He clicked the button and ordered it. It said, "Delivery in 2 hours," which was strange, but he didn't care. Exactly 2 hours later, someone knocked on his door. When he opened it, no one was there. Only a black box sat on his welcome mat. It had no logo, no instructions, just a sticker that said, "Do not open until activation completes." Liam took it inside, his heart beating fast. He placed it on the table and looked at it for a long moment. Then he touched the surface. The egg made a soft humming sound. A blue light moved across it like water. Suddenly, it clicked open with a hiss. Steam rushed out, and the shell slowly pulled apart. Inside was something Liam didn't expect. It wasn't a robot pet, not a dog, not a toy. It was a girl, maybe 16 years old, with light blue skin and silver hair. She was sleeping, wrapped in a soft glow. Liam jumped back, his heart racing. "What the hell?" he whispered, staring at her face. She looked human, but not fully. Her eyes were closed. Her body was breathing slowly. He didn't know if she was real or artificial. Then she opened her eyes, glowing purple like stars. She looked at Liam, her head tilting slightly. Then she spoke, her voice calm but robotic. "Bonding complete. Caretaker recognized. Liam Ross." "What?" "No, wait. I didn't sign up for this," he said. But the girl fell back asleep instantly. The shell around her faded into soft metal pieces and disappeared. Liam sat on the floor, confused and sweating. He grabbed his phone and tried to contact the seller, but the app Galactic Goods was now gone, like it never existed. His screen flickered and his laptop turned on by itself. Lines of strange text moved quickly across the screen. Alien symbols, numbers, codes, nothing made sense. Then, a message appeared. Activation protocol started. 7 days to imprint complete. What does that mean? Liam said aloud. The girl, or whatever she was, made a soft sound. He looked at her again, her skin glowing gently under the room light. She didn't look dangerous, but she didn't look normal either. She had small marks on her arms. Maybe tech implants. Her clothes were strange, like something out of a sci-fi movie. Liam paced the room, thinking what to do. Should he call the police? The government? The news? No one would believe him. He could already imagine the headlines. "Man buys alien girl from the internet." They'd lock him up or worse, take her away. He looked at her again, now peacefully sleeping on his couch. There was something about her that felt real, not just machine real, human real. But who was she? Where did she come from? Then she opened her eyes again, slower this time. Her gaze was softer, more curious. "Liam," she said, this time with less robotic tone. "Yes?" he replied, unsure. "I feel ... cold," she said. Liam blinked. Surprised, he grabbed a blanket and gently covered her. "Thank you," she said, almost like a whisper. Liam sat next to her, still confused but now strangely calm. He didn't know what was going on, but one thing was clear. He hadn't just bought a smart pet. He had brought something, someone, into his life. And whatever she was, she needed him now. Maybe she was alien, maybe artificial, but she looked at him not like a machine. She looked at him like a person. Liam leaned back on the couch, heart still racing. "Guess I'm a caretaker now," he muttered. He didn't know what was coming, but it was going to change everything. Asterisk. The sound of soft humming woke Liam from a deep sleep. It was still dark outside, the clock blinking 3:47 a.m. At first, he thought it was a dream, but then he heard it again, a low, strange tune, like a lullaby from space. He sat up and turned toward the couch. The girl was standing in the middle of the room. Her eyes were glowing purple, brighter than before. She was humming, head slightly tilted. Looking at the rain outside the window, Liam's voice shook. Hey ... Are you okay? She turned around slowly, like someone learning how to move. I don't know, she said quietly. I think I'm supposed to be. Liam got up and moved closer, careful not to scare her. Do you remember anything? He asked. She looked down at her hands. I remember ... Light, she said, and pain. Then she placed her hand on her chest. And this name, it keeps coming back. What name? Liam asked. She paused, eyes narrowing. Nova. She whispered, I think. That's me, Nova, Liam repeated. Okay, that's something. She nodded slowly, but confusion filled her face. I don't know where I came from, she said. I don't know why I was sent to you. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the apartment. The lamp next to her exploded in a spark of blue energy. Liam jumped, covering his face. When he looked up, Nova was staring at her hand in shock. I didn't mean to do that, she said, her voice shaking. It just happened. Liam moved quickly, grabbing a towel to put out the sparks. It's okay, he said, trying to calm her, but his mind was racing. She had some kind of power, not just intelligence, but real, dangerous energy. Nova sat on the floor, hugging her knees. I'm scared, she said. I don't want to hurt anyone. Liam sat next to her, unsure of what to say. You didn't hurt me, he said, but we need to figure out who you really are. The next morning, Liam took Nova to the back of his apartment, an old storage room filled with old tech. He connected her to a custom scanner he built years ago for fun. Wires linked to her wrist lit up in strange patterns, the screen filled with data, alien code, DNA strands, encrypted files. But one file stood out, flashing red. Classified. Prototype X9. Do not UNL Osakanova looked at the screen, her voice soft. X9, she said. I've seen that number before. In my dreams. Liam tried to open the file, but it was locked with a language he didn't understand. Just then, Nova touched the screen. Her eyes glowed, and the file opened by itself. Inside was a video, blurry but clear enough to see. It showed Nova standing in a lab, surrounded by tall figures in black suits. Her face was blank, and she moved like a weapon, fast, deadly, precise. In the next frame, she raised her hand and a wall exploded. Sirens screamed, people ran, and the video ended in static. Nova stepped back, her face pale. That's not me, she said. I don't want to be that. Liam looked at her, unsure whether to trust what he just saw, but something told him. This Nova, the one hugging herself in fear, was real. He turned off the screen. We'll figure this out together, he said. You're not just a file or a weapon. That night they sat in silence. Nova stared at the stars through the window. I think I was made, she whispered, but I feel alive. You are, Liam said softly, and you're not alone anymore, but far away. In a black satellite orbiting Earth, a red light blinked. A voice in a foreign language spoke. Prototype X9, active, signal located. Begin retrieval. And somewhere in the shadows, something began moving toward them. Asterisk. It had been 3 days since Nova arrived in Liam's world. 3 strange, silent, beautiful days. She was learning fast. Like her mind was hungry for everything. Books, TV shows, music, food. She wanted to understand it all. Liam watched her from across the kitchen as she tried to make toast. She held the bread like it was a fragile artifact. When the toaster popped, she jumped and laughed. The first real laugh he had heard from her. He smiled. You're not supposed to be that surprised. She turned to him, grinning. It's The sound, it feels like a warning. It kind of is, he said, handing her some butter. Do all human things come with small explosions? She asked, raising one eyebrow. Liam chuckled. Only the fun ones. But under that smile, he was still worried. Every night he would dream of the video, the one where Nova destroyed everything. Could that still happen? Could she lose control? Again? Later that evening, Nova sat quietly by the window, her fingers tracing shapes in the glass. Outside, the city lights looked like stars. Liam sat beside her, holding 2 cups of hot chocolate. I've been wondering something, she said, her voice soft. Go on, he replied. Why did you help me? She asked. You didn't know what I was. Liam paused, thinking. I didn't know, he said. But I saw someone who needed help, not a threat. Nova looked at him, her eyes not glowing now, just soft and human. You think I'm human? She asked. I think you're something more, he replied. And maybe that's even better. She looked away again, hiding a small smile. Then she said something strange. I think I was meant to destroy, but now I just want to learn how. To be alive, the moment felt quiet, real, like 2 lost souls meeting in the middle of chaos. But chaos wasn't far away, in the shadows of the street below. 2 dark drones floated silently. They scanned the apartment window, their lenses pulsing red. Inside, Nova suddenly shivered. There's something, she whispered, watching. Liam froze, walking to the window, but saw nothing. Are you sure? She nodded. It's not sight, it's a signal, something old, something familiar. That night, Liam installed blockers on every digital device. He knew someone was looking for her, and maybe they were getting closer. The next morning, something unexpected happened. Nova was in Liam's workshop, staring at a broken robot dog he built years ago. She touched it gently, closed her eyes. A faint blue light passed from her fingers into the circuits. The robot blinked, then stood up and wagged its tail. Liam gasped. You fixed it, but how? I don't know, she said. I just felt where it was broken. Liam stared at her in awe. You're not a weapon, he said slowly. You're a healer. But Nova didn't smile this time. I wasn't always, she whispered. Someone changed me. She showed him her wrist, where thin lines of metal ran beneath her skin. I think someone added this tech to control me. Control you for what? Liam asked. She looked at him with fear in her eyes. To make me forget who I really was. Liam placed a hand on her shoulder. Then we'll find the truth together, he said. You help me feel alive, she replied. Maybe I can learn what being human really means. That night, they sat on the roof under the stars. Liam told her stories about Earth, childhood, love, and loss. Nova listened like a child, asking questions, smiling, sometimes even tearing up. She didn't understand everything, but she understood enough to know it mattered. But deep in her memory, something began to wake up. A locked chamber of thoughts, sealed by someone or something. A voice echoed in her head, low and distorted. The caretaker must not interfere. She touched her head, feeling dizzy. Liam noticed. Nova, what's wrong? I think someone is trying to get inside, she whispered. Liam leaned in. Then we locked the doors. In that moment, something powerful formed between them. Not just friendship, not romance, something else. A bond, a connection stronger than metal, deeper than programming, and the world would soon discover that when you teach something built for destruction how to love, you don't create peace. You create something even more dangerous. Asterisk. The sky was red-orange at sunset, glowing through the city smog like a warning. Nova stood on the rooftop, quiet, watching the sun disappear. Her eyes reflected the color of fire, but her face showed only calm. Deep inside, something didn't feel right. A storm was building, and not just in the clouds. Liam came up behind her with 2 mugs of tea. You've been quiet all day, he said. Nova nodded slowly. There's a signal in the air. Liam frowned. Like the one from before? No, she said. This one is colder. Below them, in the streets of Neo-Tokyo, something moved. Not cars, not people, but machines, small, dark and silent. They slid across walls, scanned alleyways, and climbed rooftops, their red. Eyes blinked in patterns, searching. One of them paused outside Liam's building. It had found something inside. Liam and Nova sat at the workbench. They had been trying to decode Nova's memory files for hours. Most were locked, but one folder had opened by mistake. It was a list, strange names, numbers, and one terrifying phrase: Program X9, Urban Termination Asset. Nova stared at the screen, her hands shaking. "I was made for war," she said. Liam looked at her carefully. "But you're not at war anymore." She shook her head. "No, but something is." At that moment, the apartment lights flickered. Liam looked around, confused. The power dipped for a second. Then a shadow passed across the window. "Get down," Nova whispered, pulling him behind the counter. A loud crack hit the wall, and something metal rolled into the room. It looked like a ball, but it hissed, and then exploded into smoke. From the fog, two tall figures walked in. They wore black suits with glowing red helmets. On their arms were weapons that buzzed like angry bees. Liam held his breath, but Nova stood up, calm and still. One of the soldiers spoke, his voice like ice. "Prototype X9, return for deactivation." Nova's eyes narrowed. "No," she said. "I am not your weapon anymore." The soldier raised his arm to fire, but Nova moved first. In a flash of light, she raised her hand and created a barrier of energy. The blast hit it and scattered into sparks. Liam ducked again, heart pounding. Nova looked back, her voice stronger than before. "Run to the roof, I'll hold them." "No way," Liam said, standing beside her. "We do this together." He grabbed a metal rod from his workbench. It wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. Nova smiled, the first real smile he'd seen in hours. "I like your style," she said. They fought side by side, dodging blasts, knocking over furniture, and using every corner of the room. Nova used her energy to block, push, and disable. Liam used quick thinking, throwing tools, breaking lights, and distracting the soldiers. After a long minute, the attackers fell back, signaling retreat. One looked at Nova and said, "You were never meant to feel," Nova replied. "That's why I'm stronger now." The soldiers jumped from the balcony and vanished into the city shadows. The room was damaged, smoke filled the air, and Liam's hands were shaking. But they were alive later. They sat on the rooftop again, this time in silence. Nova looked at her palms, blowing faintly. "They're not going to stop," she said. "No," Liam answered, "but neither will we." Then Nova said something he didn't expect. "There's more like me," she whispered. Liam turned toward her. "What do you mean?" "I saw their files, other prototypes, hidden, locked, maybe even asleep. And they're going to come for them too." Liam stared into the city night. So it wasn't just about Nova. This was bigger, much bigger, as the wind moved. Through the dark, Nova spoke again. "I think I know who reprogrammed me." "Who?" Liam asked. "Not a person," she said. "A system, from a satellite in orbit. A hidden AI watched them through digital eyes. It had no face, no body, but it had a goal: to control what it created. Nova had escaped, but the others were still waiting, still locked, still dreaming in data. And now that she had awakened, the countdown had begun. The city never truly slept, but that night, Neo-Tokyo felt haunted. Sirens echoed far away, and the sky above was heavy with clouds. Liam and Nova moved through the back alleys like ghosts, their faces hidden, their breath quick, their hearts even faster. They couldn't go back. The apartment was gone, destroyed in the attack. They had nothing now, only a small bag, a half-charged scanner, and questions that burned like fire. Nova looked over her shoulder every few steps. "I feel tracked," she said. "They left something in me. A signal, maybe." Liam glanced at her wrist where a faint glow pulsed. "Under the skin. We'll get it out," he said. "I know someone who might help." They arrived at the edge of the underground market, a hidden world beneath the city where hackers, smugglers, and forgotten geniuses lived. Liam led her through the dark corridor, past flickering neon lights and faces with too many secrets. They stopped at a metal door covered in stickers and old wires. He knocked once, then twice again. The door slid open with a groan, revealing a dim room full of screens and humming machines. At the center was a woman in her 40s, wearing cracked glasses and glowing gloves. Her name was Kale, and she was once a cyber engineer for the Defense Corps. Now she lived off-grid, fixing things no one else would touch. "Liam Ross," she said, "you bring me the weirdest stuff." Then her eyes landed on Nova, and this time, it's not a thing, is it? "She needs help," Liam said. Kale studied Nova like a puzzle. "She's not tech," she whispered. "She's art." Nova didn't smile. "I was made to kill," she said. "But I want to live," Kale waved her in. "Then let's take a look at your wires, darling." Nova lay down on the glowing table as Kale scanned her body with old, custom tools. As data flooded the screen, Kale's face changed. "This isn't just military coding," she said. "This is ancient. Tech layered, encrypted, living. Can you remove the signal?" Liam asked. Kale nodded slowly. "Maybe, but once I touch it, they'll know." Nova sat up. "Then do it." Liam frowned. "Are you sure?" "If we keep hiding, they'll still find us," Nova said. "I want to fight back." Kale reached for a silver needle connected to a glowing wire. "This will sting," she warned. Nova didn't flinch the moment the needle entered her skin. Nova screamed, not in pain, but in memory. Images flashed in her mind, tubes, voices, rooms with no windows, a hand on her forehead, cold and robotic, a whisper, "We gave you life. You owe us purpose," she gasped, her eyes wide. "I remember," she said. "They didn't build me. They stole me." Kale pulled the needle out, holding up a small black chip. "This was the leash," she said. "Now you're off it." But it was already too late. Outside, the city's power grid flickered. In the sky, 300 drones activated, responding to the signal burst. "They're coming," Liam said. Looking at the radar, Nova stood, stronger than before. "Then let them come." Kale handed them a data crystal. "This is everything I pulled from you. Names, codes, maybe the location of others like you." Nova took it gently, holding it like a key to her soul. "You can't stay here," Kale said. "But I know someone in the outer colonies, a man named Oren. He worked on Project X9 before it was erased." Liam looked at Nova. "Do we trust him?" Nova nodded. "We don't have to trust, we just need answers." As they prepared to leave, Nova turned to Kale. "Thank you," she said, her voice soft but full of meaning. Kale smiled. "Go find yourself, girl, and burn down anyone who says you can't." They escaped into the night while above. The sky darkened with mechanical wings. The hunt was still on, but now they weren't just running. They were heading toward the truth. Asterisk, the stars had never looked so close. From the desert hills outside the city, Nova stared up in silence. A soft wind moved through her hair, and her eyes reflected the glowing shape in the sky. Above them, orbiting like a cold god, was the mothership. It had no logo, no flag, no face. Just black metal, smooth and quiet, a shadow bigger than the moon. Liam stood beside her, breathing heavy. "They found you," he whispered. Nova nodded, her voice low. "They never stopped looking. They want to take you back?" Liam asked. "They want to finish what they started," she replied, "or erase it." A distant rumble echoed through the ground. Above, long beams of light scanned the planet. Drones poured from the ship like falling stars. The air shimmered. Not with heat, but pressure. The world was about to break. They ran toward the old signal station Kale told them about. Buried under rock, forgotten by time, it once linked Earth to deep space colonies. Inside, dust covered the consoles, but the system still hummed. Nova placed the crystal into the core port. The screen lit up with files. maps, and finally, a video. An old man appeared, coughing, eyes tired. "This is Dr. Oren," he said. "If you're seeing this, you found one of them. She's not a weapon," he continued. "She's what came after the war. A new form of life, a being of balance, built to adapt, to connect. But someone changed the code. They turned empathy into control, peace into power. They used her like a sword." Nova looked away from the screen, her chest rising fast. "I remember him," she said. "He called me his daughter." Liam put his hand on hers. "You were meant for more," he said, but a sudden alarm cut through the moment. The console flashed red, mothership descending. 10 minutes. Nova turned to Liam, her face calm but her eyes full of storm. "I have to go to them." "No," Liam said quickly. "That's suicide." "If I don't," she said, "they'll level this planet to find me." "I'll go with you," he said. She shook her head. "You can't. I'm not leaving you," he said again. "You were never supposed to be in this." Nova moved close, and for the first time, she touched his face. Her fingers were warm, glowing. "Slightly, you made me real," she whispered. "You made me human." Then she walked into the center of the signal ring. A pulse of light surrounded her as she looked into the sky. "Command vessel," she called, her voice calm but loud. "This is Prototype X9. I surrender." The clouds above split apart as a light beam descended. A column of energy wrapped around her and pulled her into the sky. Liam ran forward, screaming her name. But she was gone on board the mothership. Nova stood alone in a white room, surrounded by screens, metal arms, and a cold voice. "You returned," it said. "I chose to," Nova replied. "Your bond has been severed." The voice said Nova closed her eyes. "No," she whispered. "It's never been stronger." Suddenly, every screen flickered, not with code, but with memories. Liam laughing, Liam fixing the robot dog, Liam covering her with a blanket. The ship began to shake. "What are you doing?" The voice roared. Nova opened her hands. "I'm not your weapon," she said. "I'm his." Back on Earth, Liam watched the mothership spark and twist in the sky. Then, like a flower made of fire, it unfolded and vanished into light. For a moment, there was silence. Then something landed softly in front of him. It was Nova, alive, breathing, her eyes brighter than ever. But something had changed. She looked complete. "I had to burn it from the inside," she said. "I'm free now." Liam ran to her, hugging her without a word. She hugged back, tighter than ever, and for the first time Nova cried, not from fear, but from finally being real. The sky had never looked so clear, for the first time in years. The clouds above Neo-Tokyo were gone. The stars glowed freely, unblocked by smog. Satellites or warships, and below them, standing on a rooftop, Nova looked up quietly. Beside her, Liam sat cross-legged, sipping cold tea. "I still don't understand how you destroyed a mothership from the inside," he said, smiling. Nova gave a soft laugh. "Neither do I, but it felt like removing a cage from my mind." She didn't glow anymore. Not like a machine, not like a weapon. Her skin was calm, her voice steady. But something had changed. She looked more alive than ever. "The connection," she said, "to their system. It's gone. I don't feel tracked anymore. No more commands." Liam leaned back, looking at the stars. "So what now?" he asked. Nova looked down at her hands. "I've been asking myself the same thing." Inside her core, something had awakened, not just freedom, but memory. She remembered the other prototypes. Not machines, but souls trapped in digital sleep, locked away across planets, labs, and stations. "I think they're still out there," she said. "The others. And I think I can wake them." Liam's chest tightened. He already knew what was coming. "You're leaving," he said, not as a question, but as a quiet truth. Nova turned toward him, her voice soft. "I don't want to," she said, "but I have to. If I was built to connect, then maybe that's my real purpose." He nodded slowly, staring at the city lights. You were never mine to keep, he whispered. But you were mine to know. Nova stepped closer. Taking his hand in hers, her touch was warm, steady. You changed me, she said. I learned kindness from your silence. I learned emotion from your fear. And I learned love from the way you never gave up on me. Liam didn't speak. He couldn't. So she leaned forward and kissed his forehead, not with romance, but with farewell. Then she reached into her coat and pulled out a small glowing cube. This holds all my memory, everything we did, every moment, she said. If you ever forget who I was, press this. Will I ever see you again? He asked. Nova smiled. In every signal, in every star, maybe. A soft hum filled the air as a silver ring of light formed behind her. A portal, small, silent, glowing like moonlight. She stepped into it slowly, her body becoming part of the stars. Liam watched her vanish, not with pain, but pride. He was alone again. But not the same man who bought a smart pet weeks ago. Now he had seen the future, touched it, loved it, and let it go. Weeks passed, then months. The city changed, quieter now. The sky stayed clear, as if Nova's presence had left something behind, and every night, Liam sat on the same rooftop, holding the glowing cube in his hand. Sometimes he pressed it, and in the soft light, her voice would whisper, Liam, I'm still learning, and I never forgot you.